Samsung's upcoming Galaxy S25 series has been surrounded by hype and anticipation. But as the launch window closes in, the tech giant is facing serious production issues that might lead to some big changes. At the heart of it all, the struggle to produce Samsung's new Exynos 2500 processor. Here's what's happening. Initially, Samsung planned to release its Galaxy S25, S25 Plus, and S25 Ultra with its in-house Exynos 2500 processor. A cheaper alternative to Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite, the Exynos 2500 was supposed to help Samsung reduce costs. The Exynos chip cost around $150 per unit, while Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite comes in at a much pricier $250. However, producing enough Exynos chips at a good quality level has been more challenging than expected. One major factor in this struggle is Samsung's foundry size. Samsung's production facilities have far fewer workers compared to other big chip manufacturers like TSMC. TSMC's more extensive workforce and advanced production techniques have given it an edge, especially with its second-generation 3nm process used in the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 4 chipset. According to a senior engineer on Samsung's mobile application processor development team, the real issue isn't just about workforce numbers, it's also about time. Korea's recently enforced 52-hour workweek is adding significant strain on Samsung's ability to meet production deadlines. There have been many times in recent years when I had to leave work unfinished and go home because of the 52-hour limit, even though a project deadline was approaching. Because of this, some key employees sometimes work off the clock, so their extra hours are recorded by the company. Korean labor laws allow workers to clock in a standard 40 hours, followed by up to 12 hours of overtime. That's far less than what was allowed as recently as 2018 when the cap was 68 hours. Samsung's senior staff, used to the previous limits, are feeling the pressure of working less but still needing to complete the same amount of work. Interestingly, other Korean chip companies like SK Hynix haven't faced as many issues with the new workweek limit. But Samsung's heavy reliance on in-house chip production and their ambitious plans for the Galaxy S25 mean they're feeling the impact much more. The Galaxy S25 series has already been benchmarked with both the Exynos 2500 and Snapdragon 8 Elite processors, so the Exynos design itself is ready. But Samsung's foundry is facing high discard rates, with up to 70% of produced Exynos 2500 chips not meeting quality standards. That discard rate is way too high for a mass-market product like the Galaxy S25, which is expected to sell millions of units. As a result, Samsung is now in a position where it may need to equip all Galaxy S25 models, whether it's the base, plus, or ultra versions, with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This isn't just a workaround, it's a all-in with the Snapdragon processors. The decision could impact not only the Galaxy S25's cost, but also Samsung's strategy for future models. Whether this change is a setback or a strategic pivot, one thing is clear. Samsung is committed to delivering the best possible experience with the Galaxy S25 series. We'll keep an eye on how this develops as we get closer to the January launch. Make sure to subscribe to stay updated on the latest Galaxy news. Now let's dive into the exciting showdown between two of the biggest heavyweights in the smartphone world, Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max and Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra. Both of these phones push the boundaries of mobile technology, offering cutting-edge features and exceptional performance. But which one takes the crown as the best big phone of 2024? Let's dive in and compare them side by side. Design. Starting with the design, both phones have distinct looks that reflect their brand identities. The iPhone 16 Pro Max stays true to Apple's iconic rectangular shape with flat sides and soft corners. This year, it features an even slimmer bezel, allowing for a larger 6.9-inch display. Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra, on the other hand, keeps its sleek, curved edges and integrates the ever-popular S Pen, a feature unique to Samsung's Ultra series. Size-wise, the differences are minimal. The iPhone 16 Pro Max measures 163mm at 77.6mm, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra is slightly shorter, but a bit wider at 162.3mm x 79mm. That extra width allows room for the S Pen, which gives Samsung an edge in productivity. Apple, however, introduces something new this year, the camera control button, a capacitive touch key that allows for zooming and other camera controls with a swipe. When it comes to color options, Apple sticks with its sophisticated muted tones, white, black, natural, and the new Desert Titanium. Samsung goes for more variety with options like titanium violet and yellow. And for those ordering through Samsung's website, you get access to exclusive colors like titanium blue and green. Display. Now, onto the display. Both phones deliver top-tier screen technology. The iPhone 16 Pro Max boasts a 6.9-inch OLED display with a buttery-smooth 120Hz refresh rate. As with the iPhone 15 Pro series, you also get the always-on display feature, which lowers the refresh rate to just 1 Hz when the phone is idle. Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra isn't far behind with its stunning 6.8-inch AMOLED display that also supports 120Hz refresh rates and an always-on feature. One advantage Samsung brings is an anti-reflective coating, making outdoor visibility much easier in bright sunlight, something the iPhone lacks. Both displays are breathtakingly vibrant, but there are subtle differences in color. The iPhone 16 Pro Max tends to lean towards warmer yellowish tones, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra has a cooler, more tealish hue. A standout feature for the iPhone 16 Pro Max is its ability to drop its brightness to just 1 nit for easier nighttime viewing, great for late-night scrolling. Performance. Now let's talk about what's under the hood. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is powered by Apple's latest A18 Pro chip, built on a second-generation 3nm process. This makes it incredibly efficient, with significant improvements in heat dissipation and sustained performance compared to its predecessor, the A17 Pro chip. Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra is no slouch either. It runs on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip, custom-tuned for Galaxy devices. While the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 performs well, especially in gaming and graphics-intensive tasks, it tends to throttle a bit sooner than Apple's A18 Pro under extreme stress. In benchmark tests, the iPhone 16 Pro Max leads in CPU performance, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra takes the edge in 3D graphics, scoring slightly higher in peak performance. However, Apple's new chip excels in long-term sustained performance, so if you're planning on pushing your phone to its limits, the iPhone may have a slight edge. Camera next. Let's discuss one of the most critical aspects of any flagship phone, the cameras. The iPhone 16 Pro Max features a 48-megapixel main sensor paired with a new 48-megapixel ultra-wide sensor and a 12-megapixel telephoto lens with 5x optical zoom. Apple has also introduced a new lens coating to minimize lens flare, addressing a common complaint in previous models. On the flip side, Samsung's Galaxy S24 Ultra brings its camera game with a 200-megapixel main camera, a 50-megapixel zoom lens, a 10-megapixel telephoto camera with 3x zoom, and a 12-megapixel ultra-wide sensor. Samsung has packed in more megapixels, but remember, megapixels aren't everything. The iPhone tends to produce more natural-looking photos, whereas the Galaxy S24 Ultra sometimes leans into oversaturation, delivering more vibrant images. In low-light photography, both phones perform exceptionally well, but Samsung's larger sensor can capture more detail in some scenarios. For video, the iPhone takes the crown with its 4K recording at 120 frames per second, ideal for capturing stunning slow-motion footage. While Samsung's camera app offers tons of customization, Apple's new camera control button provides a more intuitive experience for videographers. Battery life and charging. In terms of battery life, the iPhone 16 Pro Max packs a 4,685 mAh battery, while the Galaxy S24 Ultra edges it out with a 5,000 mAh battery. Both phones are more than capable of lasting through a day of heavy use, but Samsung's slightly larger battery may give it a slight advantage. When it comes to charging, Samsung takes the lead. The Galaxy S24 Ultra supports 45-watt wired charging compared to the iPhone's 20-watt charging speed. Samsung also has reverse wireless charging, which allows you to charge other devices like earbuds on the back of your phone, something Apple's iPhone 16 Pro Max doesn't offer. Software. Lastly, let's compare software. Both iOS and One UI are polished, mature operating systems, but they offer different user experiences. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is a fantastic choice. But if you're looking for more customization options, better charging speeds, and love the idea of an S Pen, Galaxy S24 Ultra might be the perfect phone for you. Ultimately, both of these phones are top-tier devices with a ton to offer. Whichever one you choose, you're getting a powerful, feature-packed smartphone that will keep you ahead of the curve in 2024.